What the fuck? great Eggo taste with 20% daily protein. Lego My Protein Eggo. So at my time working at the Amazon warehouse, I realized that relationships are genuinely good. Now, I made a video on this before talking about this, but I didn't go as in depth. So this video, I'm going to go in depth on based off of my time there. Now, when I was up at Amazon, like I explained in the first vid, I was a manager, right? I was a manager for about a year. I was in a program where day one, you start off as a manager. So I was able to talk to the people at upper management, and I was able to talk to people at the very lowest level, the tier ones. And it don't matter, to be honest. It don't matter how much you make. It don't matter who you are, what position you are. I was able to see that everybody was getting cracked, bro. Everybody was going. It was girls getting cracked in the trailers. I mean, they doing all type of degenerate stuff. They selling shit out the bathrooms and shit like that. And it wasn't just in one building. See, I worked on what's called the Tom team. So what that meant was I was a manager on the transportation side. So I was in contact with other Amazon buildings, which meant that I also got to drive to other Amazon buildings, and I would have to cover for different people in different locations. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to see even at different buildings, it's the same shit, bro. Relationships are genuinely cooked. But in particular at my building, bro, there was two guys that really made me realize how cooked relationships are, bro. All right. So the first guy, we just gonna call him E. So E, I remember one day I walked into the safety office and I'm talking to E and I'm like, bro, what's going on? You look down, you look sad. He said, I divorced my wife. I'm like, bro, I didn't even know you had a wife. And I was taken aback because he's younger than me. And so I asked him, like, when he got married at 18 years old. 18 years old, bro. Now, this already could be a red flag, but I'm going to let that slide just because that's my dog. But they divorced. I don't even remember for what the reasons were. But then he was telling me what she was acting like after divorce. She was showing up to his house, stopping him from coming to work, doing all this extra out shit. And it made me realize how toxic a lot of relationships these days are. Because people will literally break up and get back together, break up and get back together. And it's something that people like. I've talked to so many people that are in toxic relationships that refuse to get out of it for whatever reason. It's like, I'll talk to them and they'll agree with me, like, yeah, this probably is toxic. This person probably isn't good for me. And then next thing you know, they're right back with them the next day. And it's like, how? You know what I'm saying? But Tristan did end up divorcing his wife and they stayed divorced. Here's the problem. He got with another woman literally a week later. A week later, he's with another girl and they're on the phone all the time, literally texting back and forth and back and forth. She's blowing his shit.
April 2nd. Interesting. Interesting. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you mainly just want to know, what does your grandmother have to tell you? Now, going by your cards and from what I'm picking up, Ace of Cups is, of course, her just giving affirmation of her love for you. Four of Wands is assuring you that she is in a very good place, even though she is still keeping an eye on you. Now, it seems like the main message out of that she's trying to convey to you is that she wants you to be very careful about the kind of people that you keep company with, since it does seem that she's aware of certain things that maybe you aren't, but she wants you to just be careful with who you put your trust into. Now, if you'd like to see what the future has for you in the next few months, as well as any issues, you can give me a call or send me a message. I think I love you. I think I love you. I think I love you. I think I love you.
Nine grams of meat-free protein, zero cholesterol, 100% delicious. Morningstar Farms.
Oh my God. I saw these on the car last night. You didn't stop, did you? Something. Oh. Once you're marked, only God can save you.
Messenger Friday. I thought I had fatty liver disease, but it's actually MASH, and it's scarring my liver.
Restifra treats MASH with moderate to advanced liver scarring without cirrhosis, along with diet and exercise.
If I could just turn on my stream camera, it'd be perfect. If I could just turn on my stream camera too. Well, maybe what I could do. Now maybe what I could do. Interesting. Well, maybe what I could do. Use that. Seeing collection. That wouldn't be bad. Hmm. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know if you should continue to try with Victoria or should you leave it be and let her come to you. Going by your cards, the Hierophant does show that right now you're on the right path. So it's already telling you that you should go ahead and keep up your efforts with Victoria. Ace of Pentacles is showing that things will start to really improve with Victoria in the next week. Nine of Wands in the final position is warning, however, that you will come up with a little bit of a road bump, but you should not be discouraged or feel that that's a sign for you to dial things back. I feel like you're in the right space, and this is your perfect opportunity to develop things with her. Now, if you want to see how things look a month from now, as well as any other issues that may arise, you can give me a call or send me a message.
You know, he was telling me like, yo, did you hear about this situation? You know what I'm saying? I was like, what situation? What the fuck is going on? Nah. And this was a situation at my building, right? And he was like, yo, look, this is what went down. Okay. So you basically had a manager that was taking, and I don't work there, so I can say this shit now. You had a manager that was taking an associate off site, right? So we have what's called, and there's something called there's like a secondary site, you know what I'm saying, that you go to, and that's where we store extra trailers and shit. Basically, you had a manager that was going to this offsite every time he would schedule somebody, right? And he like this somebody, like this particular person, you know what I'm saying? He would schedule her there, and then he would go over to the offsite, and he was cracking every single time. Mind you, this nigga had a whole relationship at home. So this nigga was using his power to, like, imagine you're a manager and you're scheduling somebody. You're basically scheduling somebody to get cracked. So he was going over there and it was going crazy for a while. He ended up getting fired because he got caught. Dumbass. But that's the third thing that made me realize how cooked relationships are, because it made me realize people are genuinely so lustful, you know? It's like you'll do anything to crack. And it's funny because it's so funny because people are always so quick to say how healthy they are and how anti-toxic they are. But the truth of the matter is that's just not the fucking case, dude. That's just not the case. Because if it was, then infidelity wouldn't be at an all-time high, bro. If that was the case, then people wouldn't be doing degenerate ass shit like this, man. I'm telling you right now. But anyway, that's those are specific stories from Amazon, from the Big Zon, that made me realize relationships are actually fucking cooked. And like I said in my last video, there was just a whole bunch of other debauchery that was going on. Like I said, there really was a baby mama that set a car on fire. You know what I'm saying? There was Amazon is just literally it's the most lawless place, bro. It's the Wild West. I mean, I don't know if it was just my building, but you had women having miscarriages up in the bathroom, bro, or not miscarriages, but you had, it was just crazy, bro. Like they chose to. You had dudes slanging out the bathroom. I feel like that's pretty normal. It's just crazy, bro. The levels of debauchery that was there, bro. It was just fucking nuts. But anyway, that's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Zepbound. Watch this. Watch this. Zepbound is the first and only prescription medicine for moderate to severe obstructive sleep apnea, or OSA, in adults with obesity. A treatment that helps reduce breathing interruptions during sleep. After just a year, many taking it had no OSA symptoms. Don't share needles or pens, or reuse needles. Don't take if allergic to it, or if you or someone in your family had MTC or MEN2. Tell your doctor if you get a lump or swelling in your neck. Stop Zepbound and call your doctor if you have severe stomach pain or serious allergic reaction. Severe side effects may include inflamed pancreas or gallbladder problems. Tell your doctor if you experience vision changes before scheduled procedures with anesthesia. If you're nursing, pregnant, plan to be, or taking birth control pills. Taking Zepbound with sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar. Side effects include nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting, which can cause dehydration and worsen kidney problems. Ask your doctor about Zepbound, a game-changing treatment for OSA. Zepbound. Watch.
Hey, I'm good. What do you want to know exactly? Hmm. Yes, I am seeing that he talked to them about you. So yeah, they are just getting curious because he's asked about you, and there does seem to be some ongoing discussion going on. Yeah, he'd like to know you a bit better as of right now, because he does seem to have ideas of both of you maybe having something develop, but he wants to make sure of a few things before he would ever entertain that. Haley tried to stay pretty objective about it. She didn't really lean either way, necessarily super positive or super negative. She kind of just told him kind of how things are. Yes, I'm immediately seeing that Eric, mm, his take on you is pretty biased, and there is also a bit of an ulterior motive for him to kind of skew things if he's consulted about you. The general takeaway is that they do all seem to be in unison, that you do have an attraction there, yes, but they all have their own takes on the intentions and where that will go. You're welcome. Oh my god. this profile is Twitch. They probably changed the stream. Okay.
Try and defeat the locust, greatly accelerating the apocalyptic aspects of the situation. Adam didn't intend that, but he facilitated it. The hedge bet of dropping one capital city on top of another, he didn't choose to pull the trigger, but Marcus did, destroying the capacity of either civilization to fight the Langdon. And now, one finished the violence that's passed down in the games from character to character is one where good intentions are invariably corrupted by corrupt systems. The cause of expansionist wars for emulsion fueled callous dehumanization. The dehumanization took the literal form of the locust. The locust might have been the only chance to stop the lambent if they had worked together with the humans, but violence begets violence, and so the locust rose up to consume humanity. Humanity retaliated with mutual destruction, and now the lambent will eat everyone who's left. According to the lore, what the lambent are puts an even more ironic spin on it. They are the emulsion itself. The fuel was a living organism of sorts, and now it's a sickness that's spread everywhere. Not exactly subtle, sure, but what in Gears of War is. The lambent plague is the consequence for the COG's expansionist hubris. All the neon explosive chickens coming home to roost at once. Of all the humans in Gears of War, this might be the most relatable. That this world of ours was destroyed by the greed of people who lived and died before we were even born, and their poisonous legacy will one day waft up from the sewers and dead places to finish the job, no matter how we strive to escape it. The axis of that nihilism set against a slight but scrappy optimism is a lot of what makes the games compelling for me artistically. Take Colonel Hoffman, a career soldier whose gruff voice prominently features in both of the previous games. He was as COG as they come, but now the COG is gone, so he now helps defend the town of Anvil's Gate, made up of all sorts of COG and stranded exiles living together now, who set out after...
Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know, what are Johnny's thoughts and feelings about you, especially since you blocked him not long ago? Going by your cards, strength in the primary position does show that he's kind of in a very bad way right now. It seems like he really misses you. Five of Cups builds upon it by showing that you were someone that kept him emotionally validated and afloat. So right now he's really pining for you. Page of Cups in the final position is also showing that he will try to find a way to get back in contact with you within the next week. Now, if you want to know how things look between the two of you for next month, as well as your compatibility, you can give me a call or send me a message. Do, 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 do.
This and another skeletal skyscraper sit on opposite ends of a gigantic crater. There's Skytram between the two of them, but it's stuck at the other compound, which is on radio silent. The crater allows the player to see their progress across the cityscape in real time to contextualize their advancement by being able to use both tall buildings as constant reference points. It sets up clear expectations and then delivers on them skillfully, methodically. When you've cleared the main objective to investigate the other tower, Mira shows up on her war beetle and creates a double climax, making the return trip much more difficult and exciting, despite having the travel portion massively shortened. I love a post-apocalyptic cityscape, and Char is one of the best I've ever seen. The colors, red on gray, the mood, melancholy and threatening, and even just the layout, being able to understand the scale of your journey through these reference landmarks. All these things are done so skillfully. Is it a original, a brand new creative idea. Now, is it a very beautiful, very well articulated version of those common tropes? Hell yes. Gears 4 games seldom tread absolutely brand new ground, but even the ways in which they're recognizable, they have a style all their own. Gears 4 3 does a tremendously impressive job of wrapping up all the major themes and threads of the trilogy, connecting them together in an arc that is
Oh my God.
across all three titles. Consider the multimedia and textual way that they set up the game's sentimental such a case of death and Dom. The Ford shooter Delta's marbles out in search of people what used to be Marie's hometown. It's a difficult return for Dom. It seems pretty empty. Sure, there's an over-the-top scene of him laying his cog tags in the grave and doing the big capital letter emotions so no one misses the point, but perhaps the Baron is a character from the very beginning of the game. He's a man who can't escape his past, so doesn't Dom's eventual sacrifice is telegraphed far.
Oh my God.
That's part of what makes it feel right. Here's 3. Broadway is about one of these characters deserve the future and feel able to fight for one. Like he does on either account.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Arturo. Oh my God. You're doing it. Oh my God. You're doing it. The destiny of ages is the burden that I bear.
Myself included, but the game is able to inject a whole additional layer of wistful nostalgia on top of the emotions evoked to justify the fiction itself. That video of Marcus alone, pursued, hopeless, take that knot, tie a thread to it, and pull that thread all the way up through the memories the player has of Dom and Marcus as friends, even further up through the memories the player might have of playing Dom as player 2, or of the actual human friend who was player 2 when you played it together. Once you pull that thread through all those memories, you tie it off on the other dot, the dot of a trilogy reaching its climax, things reaching their end, the delicate sadness of knowing that nothing lasts forever, neither the bad of dying world or the good of treasured experience. The actual scene is kind of on the nose, like often in Gears 4, but the bad world piano soundtracking choice is just chef's kiss brilliant. It's practically palpable via and getting the audience in exactly the frame of mind it wants them to be in. At this stage in the franchise, the development team is becoming even more skilled at cinematic storytelling and presentation. At the same time, the games are becoming long enough and complex enough that they can have their own internal rhythms of callbacks and connections. They are speaking a cinematic language. Increasingly, the Gears 4 games are speaking it in their own proprietary dialect. The last act especially grabs all of the dangling story threads and coils them into a powerfully strong narrative rope. Azura, the secret luxury resort bunker where the rich, powerful, or those too skilled to risk in the war were kept hidden away from all the horror or realities of the war outside. Now, everyone's pretty much all dead and rotting in their gilded holes. Queen Mira and the Locust attacking Azura is the very last act of the entire war, last clashing of build armies before both are consigned to the scrap heap in history. The tonal twist here is that this isn't some triumphant last stand, but something kind of shameful instead. Everyone in Delta Squad is more or less disgusted by the luxury of the place, some trying to justify it, others feeling the kind of betrayal that the folks in charge have felt in comparison to the same sorts of resentments. This palatial island of luxury appointments is the total opposite of Avalon Char, but everywhere the player has been in the world, over the entire trilogy, a reminder that as much as these characters had longed for the old world had not longed for them to return. Plus, it's just a knockout escalation of the aesthetic of Lost Dominion. The dreams of the military aristocracy, where the military part is safely out there among the common people. There's a whole lot of corpses and a whole lot of ammunition laying out in the halls and Zora, but not a whole lot of sympathy. War finally coming to consume the last of the people who set the whole destruction of motion feels properly climactic. Even if the Locust is in the war, the story is moved in a satisfactory way. The war between you and the Locust ended really before you even got there in a certain way. So the game's climax is more personal between Mira and Anatheus. The question is what kind of legacy they will leave to the next generation of whoever's left. This is what I mean about dynastic storytelling here being actually kind of compelling because of the way it shifts context and perspective from game to game, rather than being used to enforce a creative status quo. The story of Gears 4 and 5 are built with this moment and memory at their foundation, this failure of Adam to connect the pieces, and this failure of Nero to relinquish her resentments. The game articulates these feelings using a boss fight against a giant flying bug that fires a death ray, that further concludes them using a fancy science exclamation point super weapon. But rather than hold this against the game, I feel like the game cunningly uses these outlandish elements to carry the emotional parts, to make the sweeping themes maybe less obvious, like orphan spectacle. That's always been among the most surprising things for me in Gears of War, that it looks like, sounds like, and is broadly representative of the kind of big noise media phase of development. But it has humanity and heart to it, plus some genuinely clever and thoughtful writing, interspersed between the yelling and the gunfire and the cutting people in half. The game uses the cut folks in half parts to prop up and help bring home the feeling sad about some things, and it is so damn good and home. Gears of War 3 underlines the central ebb and flow of the franchise by which all subsequent sequels.
Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know, why do you feel so unsettled in your relationship? Going by your cards, Page of Cups in the primary position is showing that it seems like a lot of the initial passion or attraction has kind of fell by the wayside. Now, Four of Pentacles in the secondary position is showing that on your partner's side, it seems like he started to withdraw quite a bit. So something has changed on their end. Six of Swords is warning that in the future they will continue to withdraw, mostly due to some kind of problem that was already present before both of you even started dating or even talking. So I would try to have a direct talk with your partner to see what you both can work on. Now, if you want to know how things look for the next month between the two of you, as well as any compatibility issues, you can give me a call or send me a message. The destiny of ages is the burden that I bear. The right up in the mountain, running of the
It was actually fucking
bone.
fantastic, possibly one of the best
In
first
for
instances
the
of a high
power
budget
of the
DLC campaign.
ancient silver
Everyone is impressive as the Missile Link
horn.
extension for Deus Ex Human Revolution or the story-driven DLCs for Mass Effect 2, like Layer of the Shadow Program. It dishes Delta Squad for Zeta 6, a collection of all-star tertiary characters who never made more than brief appearances in the main run of games. From Gears 4 1, you have Big Kim, the titular commander of the original Delta Squad, who dies in the cinematic at the end of that game's Act 1. Gears 4 2, you have Ty Gleason, the kick-ass Islander character who appears in the first act of that game, in the sketch Unfocused. By the time you fight him again in Gears of War 2, he's too far gone and he kills himself, foreshadowing the thing with Maria. In Gears of War 3, Chase Stratton is given a backstory and more narrative potential when you find him in Bang Bang and Helmet Backbreak. From the Gears of War comic series, we have Michael Barrett, who's actually in the Player 1 slot and serves as the main character, plus a new character unique to the DLC, Alicia Blair. The game is even set in a city that the player has likely been to, Lorima. If you don't remember it, this is because it was sunk underground by the rockworm in Gears of War 2 near Bonamaga's fallen rubble. The game starts off at a wild pace as well, trying to stop a major offensive from an underground sinkhole on Emergence Day itself, while oncoming cruel storm darkens the sky in advance of the kind of infestation we saw in Gears of War 1 and Act 2. Use the Hammer of Nod to take down multitudes of enemies in meter pitch of combat. That's just the initial Olympic encounter. All out, the war even who is doomed, and here you are using a weapon that helps them doom it. So, here in this forgotten DLC is an effort to supplement the main campaign's impressive conclusion by looking backwards and making the introductory details in the setting stronger and more engaging. The main campaign ties the main threads together, wraps up the whole Locust landing situation and making people know when you're doing Gears of War 3. Ram Shadow is built from scraps and leftovers. From these materials, it proves the quality and durability of the core gameplay loops and mood of the franchise by building something something every bit as quality as the main campaign from what are essentially spare parts of setting narrative and gameplay. I mean, mostly. Let's get it out of the way right now. The Penn State's odd gimmick sections where you play as General Ram, the boss of the first game and the boss of this DLC. It's not that it isn't fun to be the big guy for a while, just that it feels kind of pointless. It's not the same gameplay loop as when you're playing as a gear. Being Ram is still boring for the same reason that he's such a pain in the ass as a boss. He's just wildly overpowered and hard to actually damage. He doesn't need or use cover. A game of the same era with some very inconsistent DLC is BioWare's Dragon Age Origins, where some of the stuff is narrative critical and some of it is very slight. The most actively purposeless of all the DLC is called The Dark Spawn Chronicles, where you fight against the main characters as some of the game's bigger and meaner monsters and an alternate take on the climax chapters. In Dragon Age, this novelty experience is separated as content by the menus from the main narrative stuff, which is really enjoying. In Ram Shadow, you get the novelty gimmick and mixed in as alternate chapters to the primary gameplay of the DLC, which cheapens it because the primary content is of such higher quality. The presentation really is on par with the original campaign. It doesn't need anything extra like this. The cities of Collapsed City are so different in style than post-apocalypse in the main timeline, while maintaining that same enthusiasm for destruction. Take this scene where you drop a goddamn skyscraper on your enemy city. Same level of excess, same level of spectacular violence, yet now you're creating fallen rubble which will one day characterize the entire world. Walk off the streets that aren't part of the playful. This could have been a story told much more simply or cheaply. It could all be a gimmick like General Ram being playful, but instead it quite diligently does what prequels do best and establishes complete strands of post-hoc context. In one of the early Gears of War comics, The Hollow, the ending features Barrett sacrificing himself to save Dom, Marcus, and Jace Stratton. This
What?
DLC is the story primarily of how Jace
Excuse me?
co-opting that comic in particular.
You're gonna-
Background in EA
What?
The DLC also establishes the earliest origin of
No.
Slider that follows
I don't think you
characters
will.
all the way through Gears 5.
Nuh-uh.
It also resolves
sorry.
its motivation paradox in a looping
Not
process
happening.
way. There's no denying that it's kind of a problem that General Ram is the big villain and final boss in the DLC, because not only has that been done before, it was done with finality. You know that nothing you do will really touch him. This is narratively unsatisfying in a way that the villain itself is completely doomed and war is unwinnable is not. In that case, we had seen the ruins, but not the fall, so getting to see the fall is still expands what was known before. Ram as a villain simply recycles what was known before. To try to add some zest and flavor to it, they threw in this absolutely ridiculous scene where Alicia dies trying to kill Ram in the same way Kim will be killed by Ram in Gears 1. It establishes that Kim and Ram have this prior rivalry, that Kim's future death had more personal stakes than perhaps it seemed at first. And that is really overloading it. Not literally everything has to create a callback and flavor to it. They threw in this absolutely ridiculous scene where Alicia dies trying to kill Ram in the same way Kim will be killed by Ram in Gears 1. It establishes that Kim and Ram have this prior rivalry, that Kim's future death had more personal stakes than perhaps it seemed at first. And that is really overloading it. Not literally everything has to create a callback and a connection, and mostly the DLC is excellent at picking and choosing which details to fill. Mostly those details surrounding characters who never got much context or screen time to begin with. Recontextualizing such a famous moment of the primary canon seems somehow beyond the mandate of the DLC, reaching too far. On the other hand, all the spin-off material focused around the emergent state part of the timeline is so consistently dedicated to forging and strengthening those peripheral connections that I think it's entirely possible to rearrange them into a timeline linear order of play that complements and strengthens the primary trilogies. That new linear order would be Ram Shadow, Gears of War Judgment's first campaign, Gears of War Tactics, then Gears 1 through 3, taking a break 2/3 of the way through Gears of War 3 to play Judgment's second campaign, then Gears 4, then Gears 5, then Hivebusters. Playing them in this order, the prequel material genuinely does deepen the connectivity between all the titles, even the other DLC and prequel material. This too is part of what makes the franchise difficult to talk about. Not only is the gameplay unified, changing little from title to title, but the narrative is unified as well in such a way that it never travels too far from shore or gets into territory that could be considered truly experimental or weird. It is a whole cloth without many dangling threads at all.
Well, I'm just not really a political person. My brother employs.
Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know if your ex will come back to you. Going by your cards, the Hermit in the primary position is showing that right now, your ex doesn't really seem to be interested in really being involved with anyone right now. The Tower does show, however, that they are very quickly reaching some sort of personal epiphany about their life or what they're really wanting. So the Four of Cups does seem to be leaning towards them realizing that you are actually something good for them. And so I do see them trying to make a return to you in the next 6 months. Now, if you'd like to know more about what else will transpire during now in the next 6 months, as well as how your compatibility will be during the end of that duration, you can give me a call or send me a message. Hunting for a dream. Longing for space.
getting together to try to convince other people of things. It is the way that life is governed in a society.
Now, the gentleman we have here clearly is no fool. He's clearly an educated man and thinks about the world. But the mistake he made was in the very beginning, when he said politics is what defines what normalcy even is. Therein lies the confusion that I'm attacking in this video. It is metaphysics that defines what is and is not normal, not institutional policy. How could you possibly agree on proposed rules for a society if you don't even agree on what things like society, life, death, time, and what a human being even is? Before policy comes us agreeing on what reality even is to begin with. But that sentence, all art is political, is an insult to art itself. Most great artists of history were not trying to influence policy. They were trying to feed the soul. A cathedral does not move you because it advances propaganda. A requiem does not pierce your chest because it passed legislation. Art matters because it reaches beneath discourse. Of course, art can contain political content. That is not my point. My point is that when politics becomes the primary lens, art gets flattened into ideology. And that flattening reveals a deeper blindness. Human beings are not reached by argument alone. Some truths can only enter through symbol, image, music, and atmosphere. For most of human history, that is exactly what art was used for. Modern people forget this because they trust only what can be logically articulated. If it cannot neatly be translated into syllogism, they treat it as unreal. But the deepest parts of us do not answer to language alone. Great art speaks to the soul beneath logic. So when I hear someone say all art is political, what I actually hear is someone severed from the very faculty art exists to awaken, their soul. This same disease infects everything else. When people say everything in life is political, they reveal how impoverished their inner world has become. Politics is never the deepest layer. Every civilization rests on hidden metaphysical assumptions, whether spoken or not, such as, is man sacred or merely an animal? Is consciousness an accident or a cosmic miracle? Is the universe a dead machine or alive with meaning? Politics comes after all of that. Every regime stands on assumed answers to those questions. This is why political arguments so often go nowhere. People think they are fighting over policy, but really they're fighting over reality itself. Politics decides how people are managed. Metaphysics decides what a person is in the first place. And now once you see that, politics shrinks back down to its proper size. Real, important, and necessary, but never ultimate. A man can win every political argument and still have no idea why he should live. A society could become fluent in discourse while going spiritually mute. That is the horror of modernity. We have millions trained to interpret every event as a political signal, and almost none trained to ask what life is or why it matters at all. So certainly politics can affect your life. You should study it, you should engage with it, but do not hand it your soul. Your grief is deeper than politics. Your love is deeper than politics. Your fear of death, your hunger for meaning and longing for beauty, all of that runs much deeper than civic management. The damage begins when politics convince you it is the highest God. It is not. It is one layer of life, one arena of conflict. And this is where the psyop plays in. Because the powers that be absolutely understand metaphysics. They understand symbols, mythology, unconscious forces and the spiritual hunger that shapes reality. They understand it better than the average politics addict on the internet. That is why they harness metaphysical forces constantly. They know the soul is not moved primarily by policy. The soul is moved.
Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know if you should unblock Johnny and text him. Going by your cards, the magician in the primary position does show that right now wouldn't be the best time to do it, which Four of Wands is showing that conditions will improve in the next 4 weeks. However, Five of Swords is warning that if you do contact Johnny, you need to make sure that you are keeping your energy level and not trying to jump into some kind of dispute or argument, since it seems like that would immediately reset everything right back to zero, and it would just cause a lot of animosity between the two of you. Now, if you want to know how things look later into the summer, as well as any other issues that may arise, you can give me a call or send me a message.
Day life. They need you trapped. Politics alone. A person who understands metaphysics becomes much harder to govern. A person who understands how to speak in symbol can see when symbols are being used against him. A person who understands God cannot be satisfied with propaganda dressed up as the sacred. So no, everything is not political. Everything is metaphysical. Politics is downstream from the deeper question of what is reality. The people who run the world know this. Artists used to know this. The priests knew this. Poets knew this. And now the modern man, with a phone in his hand, typing away a tweet, thinks he has outgrown metaphysics. That is the joke. That is the spell. And until you break free from it, you will keep mistaking the surface of life for the source. If you made it here to the end, then I want to thank you for watching this entire video and giving thought to what I had to say. If you appreciated it, I have an additional video every week on my Patreon. They're a bit more raw and sincere, and I talk about things that aren't really sculpted for the broader YouTube algorithm. This page was unable to achieve monetization, and I don't want to take on any ad sponsorships that would take away from the mission of this project. If you want to support me directly, Patreon is the best way. You get an extra video every week, as well as access to my exclusive Discord server, where I can answer any of the questions you have about any of the topics I discuss. Thank you. Value is always in season at Taco Bell, with favorites for $5, indulgences for $7, and a lavish spread for $9, including the triple double crunch. Try Taco Bell's 5, 7, and $9 lunchboxes today. These beautiful little chefs. This video is sponsored by War Thunder. The world of Dark Souls has always stood out because it feels like more than just a game mode. Dive into the collision data or even step out of bounds, and it becomes clear just how low conscious that world is. Even the rough edges and odd overlaps feel strangely purposeful, as if the land itself was part of the storytelling. Of course, not every quote is intentional. Some are offensive developments, but we
Oh my god, that's funny. That's actually really funny. And my light just died. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know if someone in your house is plotting against you. Going by your cards, the lovers in the primary position is showing that there is some sort of discordance in your household. Three of Cups is indicating that it's actually more than one person who does seem to have certain intentions towards you. Four of Cups in the final position is also showing that your relationship with this person is extremely strained. So, going off of that, it definitely seems like there's at least one primary person who's plotting against you, and they seem to be trying to get other people related to this situation to turn against you. Now, if you want to see how things look in a month, as well as figure out as to why they're doing this, you can give me a call or send me a message. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know, will you get your associates for the listed subject? Going by your cards, the Hierophant does show that you are a very good student. So that's already something you have going for you. Seven of Cups is showing that you kind of get to have your pick of what kind of degree you even want. So it's almost as though it's saying that you getting the degree is more of a given than anything. Eight of Wands in the final position is also showing that you probably also want to make sure that you have some extra credits or some kind of work put in on the side to go ahead and get a secondary degree while you're doing all this. Now, if you want to know how things look for you in the coming year, as well as any issues that may arise, you can give me a call or send me a message. Am I going to get a job soon? You and me both, buddy. Hunting for a dream, longing for a space. It's the same dream I've had since the day I saw your face. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know if you're going to get a job soon. Going by your cards, the Emperor in the primary position is showing that right now you do have some options on your table. So I'm seeing that there are going to be some things that you will and should apply to. Ace of Cups in the secondary position is showing that initially these won't really turn out well for you in terms of getting a reply back. However, Page of Pentacles is showing that by going through this process, it will actually put you in contact with someone who can actually hook you up with a suitable job. So going off of this, I do see that over the course of the next few months, you will end up landing something. Now, you will have to go through some hardship first, but I do see it happening for you. Now, if you'd like to know what kind of job this will be, as well as any issues related to the job, you can give me a call or send me a message.
Basically, Cindy Watson released DMs or something. Something happened with the DMs. Now we're looking at the DMs. I don't know whether it's with the quartering or what.
So I just, bear with me, a little nervous. So let's just jump right into this. This is gonna be a little rough. I was like, you know what? Let me ask her something. So I messaged her. And Sydney has always been super, super cool with me. So she replied. So here's what I said. I said, I know this is likely a wild inquiry, but if you ever want to talk on my show for 30 minutes or something, if you should give your take on the scoring, you're welcome and invited. And shockingly enough, she immediately responded. She said she didn't want to come on the show for a certain reason, and it's because the quartering has threatened her directly with something. Okay, and there's another person involved. There's multiple people involved that have threatened her with something. Okay, so she didn't want to do it. Now this changes pretty quickly. I'm gonna be honest, and we start getting pretty much in the nitty gritty. Oh, okay, it worked. Cool. All right.
Whoa! What the fuck, dude? What is this?
I kind of got with that all because she alluded to that immediately from the beginning. She says, "Yes, I fucking hate him," which I was like, okay. He literally could have made me less of an enemy if he just shut his fat fucking face when shit. Damn. But he could not help himself. I said, I figured I would ask. I said, all this happened because of his own words. And she's like, I would love to come on, but I'm intensely private. Jeremy, I'm paraphrasing. Jeremy he knows some information, and she doesn't want out. And he has zero morals, and he keeps threatening to basically dox all of her information if she ever speaks out about it. Okay.
Well, yeah, I've spoken about the fact that you've got a bunch of people who see a creator getting like dogpiled and raped, and it's a safe target. A bunch of videos about, and you're going to just get like positive attention for it, right? And it's fine. I don't really care about that dynamic. There's lots of drama, but like it.
Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know, will you make good money this year? Going by your cards, the devil in the primary position is showing that things are going to be kind of hard for you for this year. Now, it's mainly going to be because of budgetary problems. Now, it's looking like you probably do need to make sure that you're being careful with how you spend your money, both recreationally and for when it pertains to work. So this could mean anything from what kind of work, lunches you're partaking in, as well as any other expenses. Four of Wands in the secondary position does show that the remaining opportunities you have for this year are a little limited, but they're still there. Now you're going to have 4 particularly strong months left in this year for you to lock in and end up making some really good money. Page of Wands in the final position is, however, saying that if you're fixated on wanting some kind of promotion or some kind of critical advancement in any of these works that you're doing, that it's going to take a bit more time. So it won't end up happening this year in terms of you making real advancement in terms of a work position. But from what I'm seeing, the money does look like it's on the table for you to get. Just make sure you address those issues that I covered. Now, if you want to take a look at how next year will be for you financially, you can give me a call or send me a message. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know, will you and Beth get back together? And going by your cards, the star in the primary position is showing that there's opportunity for both of you to patch things up. However, the main problem is shown in 5 of Cups, where One side was particularly hurt by the events that happened. So the major offending party is going to they're going to have to make sure that they give reparations. Now, that said, Page of Cups does show, once again, that the likelihood of both of you patching things up is very high, which, going off of that, it does seem like both of you are destined to get back together. Now, if you want to know how things look between the two of you for around fall, August, something like that, you can give me a call or send me a message. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know, will your boyfriend forgive or reunite with you? Going by your cards, Six of Cups in the primary position is showing that the bond between the two of you is still really strong. So this is already a good indicator of where things are going to go in the future. Seven of Wands is showing that he is still pretty defensive regarding what happened between the two of you, but I do see him opening up because, of course, he misses you. Page of Wands in the final position is showing that regardless of the hardships, you both are actually going to come out of this a lot better than before. And as a result, the relationship will be a lot better and a lot healthier. Now, if you want to know how things look between the two of you in late summer, as well as any other issues that may arise, you can give me a call or send me a message. Yeah, I think I only have 3 of these left. I literally only have 3 left. I hate when they triple text me before I've responded. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know, will Johnny get his karma for what he did to you? Going by your cards, the Tower in the primary position is showing that there is something actually inbound for Johnny. 8 of Cups is showing mostly a recommendation on your side that you try to leave this in the past, because it does seem that if you linger on this a bit too long, you carry the risk of getting swept up in the karmic backlash. And from that, what I mainly would say that means is there is a process where if you get too hung up on trying to see someone have their payback for what they've done to you, it's very easy for you yourself to get swept up in those events, and then it kind of makes things worse for yourself. 2 of Pentacles, I guess, is kind of explaining what I just said by showing that you need to have a balance in your own personal life to make sure that you are still moving forward and taking care of your own daily needs. And it's okay to keep an eye on Johnny and see where things fall in his life, but I don't want you to get too fixated. Now, if you want to know how things look for June, as well as any other issues that may come up, you can give me a call or send me a message. How are people watching me? Why did they all... What the... Sounds like Taki.
I mean, that's kind of like me, except here I am. It's what I'm good at, is talking to people, and reading. And to be fair, the Corey's really easy to read, All right. I'm just making sure we're all good. But yeah, I never ever made any money on TP. I also worked for free. I coordinated all our people, edited their videos, edited their writing. I was the content person. He contributed very little, but he would call me and badger me all about it. Again, this is actually, for the record, I'd like to set straight, because it is insane to suggest I made $250,000 when I didn't see a single dollar. Ooh, fraud alert.
Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you mainly just want some understanding as to why these bad things happen to you. Going by your cards, 9 of Pentacles. Oh. Hey. How are you? Can you describe the weird feeling? Well, I am seeing one particular person who felt that they were slighted or wronged or disrespected by you, who does seem to be doing something. I am seeing a confirmation. Now, it looks like this person, they don't really know much about this kind of stuff themselves, so it seems like they're going to someone to get this kind of work done. It is showing me a yes. From what I'm getting, it seems that they felt that everything was good the way it was until you didn't toe the line anymore. They felt like you just really messed things up. It seems mostly like they kind of were just in a mood and they were just searching around for a way to kind of get back at you, or to at least put that intention out there. They didn't really have a specific thing in mind, but you know how it is with these kind of services. They eventually found someone who could do certain things for them, and they kind of just said, yeah, I just want her to get hers. That's easy enough. I mean, I won't recommend anything major just yet. I feel like the easiest thing you could do to start out is to just have certain items on you, like a Hamsa, Evil Eye, anything to kind of weaken that. Now, if that doesn't change anything, you can always hit me up later, like in a DM or something. We could go from there. But for now, I think the most you could do is just cleanse the air around you. Yeah, so just crystals. For that, it's kind of going to come down to your preference. I know most people go towards quartz. I mean, you can't really go wrong with that. Me, I tend to just focus on certain elements, like mainly lapis lazuli, but usually I would just say quartz. What am I seeing? Okay, do you have a birthday for them? Okay, I'm seeing. Well, I'm at least seeing a desire for them to just enjoy very decadent, very hedonistic things. Like it seems like they really want to feel like they're in charge in life. Like there's a strong desire there. Yeah, I am seeing that they never really talked to you directly about how they felt. But yeah, that is there. I'm seeing yes, a very strong yes. As for a reason why, it just felt like they couldn't get what they were wanting from you. They felt like they were limited, that they were kind of already put in a certain position with you that they wouldn't be able to work their way out, so they just kind of cut their losses. Mainly what I'm seeing from him is it's almost as though a part of him is a little scared of you, where it feels okay. This seems like a recurring thing where all these people just they feel very affected by the fact that you won't really kowtow to them. Like I'm seeing this recurring a lot. Like, is this something that just like happens with you where they expect you to be a certain way and they get frustrated with you? Yes, the fact that they would say that kind of gives me a red flag because I don't know, just usually when I hear people who say that about someone, especially with the narcissistic thing, it usually comes from a place where they just really want to get a control on some aspect of your behavior. Well, mainly when it comes to that, which this is kind of the problem when it comes to power dynamics and control, is For these people, they're just never going to be honest about the truth. Is they're just people who become blinded by rage because they don't get their way, because they can't convince or mold people to be a certain way that they expect, and it makes them feel justified in how they behave. So they don't see anything they've done as being wrong. They feel that it's a natural response. There are people who knew, yes. Yeah, there were some people. It's a very difficult thing for other people to really get involved with, but they were trying at least the best they could to keep an eye on things. I am seeing a connection between both of them, yes. It is active. I'm seeing like double confirmation. It would seem that the prior one wants the current one. It's like some weird guy stuff where he feels like your current partner is oblivious or doesn't know the full story about you, but it's kind of two-faced because he's essentially poisoning the well against you. He still sides with you, primarily. He is listening to some of the things said, though, so it is creating that kind of monitoring effect. He was just frustrated. He he believes you. It's just he's again. I'm seeing like this recurring thing where they're like almost scared of you in a way. Yes, he does still love you. Now, I do see a recommendation that if things continue the way they are right now, then yes, there would end up being a kind of breakup. Well, I think the easiest thing and what's showing up for me is to just take some time away from each other. Just take some time away from each other, just briefly. I am seeing remote viewing. They are once again they're getting some kind of outside third party consultation to do these things. it seems that they are coalescing around this wish to kind of make you pay some kind of reparations, or for them to put you under their thumb or relegate you to wherever they want you to be in your network of peers. For that would be too big of a topic to get into. I mean, I guess the main gist I could say is it feels like it's just human nature, like especially nowadays when it comes to this stuff, where it's almost like a double standard, where by coming forward about that kind of stuff, they almost seem to like punish you for it, or they want you to behave a certain way to fit what they think you should be when you go through things like that. I'm mainly just seeing curiosity. They just want to understand you more. I am interest in your work, but it seems like they were struggling with their own stuff. Yes, they do. Mm. Like I actually felt vibes when you asked that. They definitely have it. As far as how to get away from that influence, you would have to specifically not interact with whoever has ownership of that item. Because I've actually went through that myself. You have to cut contact with that person and make sure that they're not monitoring you directly. I know the instinct is to try and fight. I don't want you to do that. The easiest thing you can do is to separate, and I think they call this technique the gray rock, where you don't give them any feedback. Whenever you get those feelings that something's going on, you need to not give off the sign that you know what's happening. Don't give any sort of feedback. That won't be hard. It'll just take time. If you were to make it through all this and endure without having some big catastrophic event, they would eventually come to their senses and come back into your life. He did hear. He was aware. Hmm. It feels like it mainly just makes him ruminate about just how life works and the series of choices people make. Like just older people stuff where they just think for a long time about that kind of stuff. Yes, he is aware that you've been through a lot. He seems content just doing his own thing. He doesn't really, it seems like he just doesn't have the bandwidth to really branch out right now. Now, them, it's honestly a very superficial reason. They feel like they can't have as much fun with you, but that could change on a random given day. Before, yes, like it just things seem to change in a way where they struggle with having things how they used to be. Yes, I am seeing her on your side. Yes, she's a very good person to keep around. Mm, I'm seeing positive stuff about her mom. They seem to acknowledge the work that you've put in. So they've never thrown it away or forgotten about it, but they do feel like you kind of tax them a bit. Like, what's another word? Like they feel like you do keep their hands full with ordeals. They would well, it's kind of like all these other people. They would prefer it if you were a certain different way, which from what I'm seeing, they kind of just want you to be like background or silent or less assertive, things like that. It was mainly whatever that one person we discussed was doing. This is all very unnatural because you were on a good course. It'll take some time, but if you address the certain things that we did, like start investing in what I would consider like energy purifiers around you from crystals, certain jewelry, things like that, you would already start recovering. Do you know their birthday? I am seeing a lot of problems with them, especially when it comes to their peer group, as just a lot of third party involvement. I just don't think it would go anywhere good. Yes, there is. I think it's the one person who never got to really tell you how he felt. It seems like he still has a positive view of you and would like to get closer to you. Oh my god, she ran out of credits.
Did you know that?
I know. I don't have a very good rating there because my feet are genuinely ugly, and I accept that.
So, Notice
I think I
Sydney's
love
response,
you.
okay? Immediately
I think I love
recognizes that this has been
you.
brought up, and I
I
do very
think I
much
love
respect the
you.
professionalism of these women in trying to handle these
I
situations.
think I love
So
you.
rather than make a big stink about it, excuse the pun, what she does instead is says,
Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know if that was him or your own mind telling you what you wanted to see. Going by your cards, the Fool in the primary position is showing that, in terms of that question, it was your own mind that was suggesting stuff to you. Justice is showing that whatever you were perceiving is true, so I don't think you need to second guess it. Three of Cups in the final position is warning that you should not consult any of your extra friend groups or your peers right now when it comes to what you're perceiving or what you believe to be true. So, from what I'm getting, this is just telling you to double down and trust your own discernment. Now, if you want to see how things look for you in the next month, as well as any other issues that may arise, you can give me a call or send me a message.
Yeah, I do.
I think I
so
love
now he's
you.
trying to tell the story and he's bringing it back to that, looking at the pictures. This is grotesque. This is fucking sickening, man. This guy's a totally fucking perverted freak. Yes, he's locked in because he's got no fucking boundaries or ability to understand that he's making someone feel deeply uncomfortable. Perverted little fucking rape guy.
You're 4.5 stars. This is very high.
Oh, I have 46 beautiful ratings. Oh, I'm touched. I know they're not cute though, and I realize that.
But just so everyone knows, you can see, I'm going to bring it up because, you know, send your super chats now.
This is fucking disgusting, man. This is literal, like, fucking... sexual harassment is the correct term, but it feels worse than that, man. Bringing this up on the fucking, you know, on the show like this. What's a disgusting fucking pervert. No, she's not cool with it. Women are not cool with stuff like this, okay? But they need to, they're either not assertive enough and or they feel like, in this case, obviously the right one thing, they need to sort of like play along with it or something, or they're going to cause a problem. No, this woman is uncomfortable, okay?
Aw, I'm touched.
Also, yeah.
I know they're not cute though, and I realize that.
Just so everyone knows, you can see, I'm going to bring it up because, you know,
She goes to say no. She wants you to say no. God, this guy's fucking sick. This guy's a totally wretched, sick freak. This guy should be under the fucking prison, man. This is gross, man. Literally, they just do. Oh God, it's so horrible to watch.
send your super chats now. Look at, I have not rated. I have not rated your feet. What is this? Oh, that is not a great picture of you.
No, that's the thing. This is where I was at, and that was from one of my ads where I bought. I just went.
This is a good picture though. To the right, that's a good picture of you.
Yeah.
That's a good picture of you. She's a good sport because she's forced to be a good sport. What are you supposed to do in this situation, particularly understanding the dynamics of like the right wing space, right? She's forced into this position where she has to play along because otherwise she gets criticized for being a, you know, annoying feminist or something like that. Okay? So she has to play along with this. It's not that she wants to, she has to. No, there's like one guy. There's not that many rapists in chat, dude. There's barely any rapists in chat, okay? It's very clear when you understand basic social human interactions what is happening with this.
I curl my feet in because they go pink because I have no circulation and I get really embarrassed. And so you can see I'm just trying to hide my feet, and all of them. This is some of these are like from the archives.
I'll tell you.
Okay,
this.
my laptop
The number of
is.
people that viewed it. 5 million views on your.
My laptop is freaking out.
There, what?
I need to go ahead and kill this stream at least.
I'll tell you this. I swear to God, I've never been to WikiFeet before.
Oh,
Oh, look at your feet. Yeah, they are kind of. Let's get in there. Yeah.